Welcome, 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 and welcome to another episode of Men on Fire here on Soul Mechanic TV and Soul Mechanic Radio. On last week's episode, we discussed perception, thoughts, and creation. Three simple things that help us discover who we are and how things work in our lives. And I think I described it as the most important 16 minutes of your life because, of course, the episode was about 16 minutes long. And I did talk about things that were still in behind that, like beliefs and desires. And some of you commented on that and said, well, how's the beliefs fit into this? And I'd like to actually dedicate a whole episode to beliefs because I think they're that important. But today, I'm going to talk about something that our beliefs really affect. And it happens to all of us. We've all done this since we were tiny children, and most of us will do this till the day we die. And it's the beliefs of what people think of us. And we always want to try to want people to like us, and even more so in today's social media societies. And we'll get to that in a few minutes, but we're always looking for people to like us, and we don't want them to dislike us or hate us, so they use a strong word, which we often do when we're children. And there's a quote by a gentleman that is a few years ago, probably about 2,500 years ago, and it was a Chinese philosopher by the name of Lao Tzu. And here's Lao Tzu's quote: "Care about people's approval, and you will become their prisoner." And isn't that so true? When we care so much about how people think about us and wanting their approval, we actually do things that are not serving others, or certainly not serving ourselves. We're just serving that one individual, and they become then a power in our life, and we're trying to constantly be approved when you're the only person that needs to give yourself approval, nobody else, right? And it's just a fact of life that not everyone is going to like you. It's just impossible for everybody to like you. People will judge you, and people will criticize you. And how we act gives us our results. So we need to be considerate and respectful and watchful of our own behavior, right? Now, we've talked about this before. How you think is the way you feel, how you feel is the way you act, and how you act gives us the results we get in our life. So we have to be watchful on how we behave, because it's going to give us our results. And people will judge us. They will criticize us on that. They always will. They always have, and they always will. You do the same. Some more than others. Some with some disrespect, and some in a respectful way, just to help others improve. But when people criticize us, perhaps we need to look at our own behaviors then. Why are they criticizing us? Instead of getting mad or upset with them, maybe it's a time to self-reflect and say, if I'm pissing off that many people, for example, or one person in particular, what am I doing to cause that? So it's a little more self-reflection there. So, but it doesn't really matter if you're the nicest, sweetest person on the planet. People will still not like you. And we all enjoy the freedom to make our own decisions, right? Freedom is a huge thing, especially, in the democratic society or Western style worlds where we value our freedom so very much. And part of that is free speech and free thought. But yet, when people don't like us, we want to control it. We want to control their thoughts about us. We don't just allow them to have their free speech or their free thoughts, but we want people to give us our free speech and our own free thoughts. But it goes both ways. You just can't have it working one way only. So allow others to dislike you. So what? To disagree with you. Who cares? To judge you. Yeah, that's fine. To think less of you. They're gonna do it anyway, right? It's just a matter of course. People will do those things to you. You cannot stop it. So just allow it. Don't get upset over it. What you're actually doing when you just allow it is you're letting go of the compulsive need to control what others think of you. I mean, this goes so far in depth in the Facebook world of likes. I think they may have been one of the first social media to start that, getting a like, right? A thumbs up and giving people a like for their either what they said or talked about or picture or story. But it goes further than that, because we as the receptors of the likes, when we have a Facebook page and people like what we've said or done or even pictures, then we think they like us because they're our friends, our Facebook friends, right? But many times, many of them are not really friends. They're just a social media contact that is approving of what you posted. That's all. It doesn't really mean they really like you or that you are a good friend or anything like that. No, that's not always the case. Many of you have good friends that also you talk to each other over Facebook, and that's fine. But you have to look at where all these likes are coming from. And when you don't get one, when you don't get enough response, oh my, I better post another story. I better post another picture. I better put something out there that's going to get some kind of a reaction, because I feed off of that. I start to see what my self-worth is by these responses, which is, terrible. I'm not worthy because I don't get enough likes. I'm not worthy because not enough people like the photo I posted of myself, and not to belittle any of this practice, but I see this so much in certain aged women, all depending on whether it's young women, middle-aged women, older women too, that maybe are trying to attract somebody, or just they feel that they need some attention for whatever case or reason that is. And they post pictures of themselves, and many of them are very, very beautiful. However, their self-worth goes down when not many people respond, or not the right people respond. And it becomes addictive that they need to have that. I've seen them, and you have too. You've noticed them on there, and this goes for men do this too. And you just day after day after day, there's more pictures and wearing something different makeup, whatever, what have you. But it's just your self-esteem has taken such a hit over somewhere along the line. And maybe that's from you thinking and having this belief that you need to make everybody like you, but you don't have to. And yeah, sure, you could try to change, maybe try to change things about you, but they'll just find something else. So the people will find something else to not like you about. It won't really change a thing. And not only that, but you're changing for the wrong reasons. Now, if you just let others have their opinions, and you don't have to agree with them or accept them, just allow them to think whatever they want to. It's their right, after all, isn't it? It's your right to think what you want to have your opinion, to agree or accept other people's opinions. So why are you denying these people their right? It makes no sense. All we're after then is control of those individuals. And we start to become control freaks. And when we can't control somebody because they have their own opinions, then we're ticked off and we dislike them, don't we? Because we just can't seem to break through their barrier and control them. So the heck with them. You'll find something about them you dislike. So it goes the other way too. right? So we have to be careful of that. We should respect their freedom, respect that freedom that they so rightfully enjoy. And then you're also going to respect your own freedom. And when you do this, it will set you free. Give up that need to approve of others. Give up needing to control their thoughts. This allows you to find your own freedom. Let them say what they want to. It doesn't have to affect you. Do what you want to do. What's important here is whether you like you, not whether they like you. And many times when people lose their self-esteem, they don't like themselves. They don't like the way they look, don't like the way they feel. They feel powerless. They feel they're not in control of their lives. But that's because you don't like yourself. It's not because other people don't like you, because there's always going to be people that don't like you. That's just the way the world works. Not everybody agrees with everything you are going to say or do. And that's what we have to try to get over. So once you stop caring what others think of you, life becomes so much more pleasant. You're free to do so much more. You're free to do what you feel passionate about and are inspired to do. To share your gifts, creativity, and compassion. And anyone who doesn't appreciate that, well, that's their loss. And you let them worry about that, not you. You don't worry about that. They didn't see the best of you, and that's fine. Let them worry about it because it's their loss. So set yourself and others free. Stop worrying about what others think of you and whether they like you or not. Now, here's another quote. I can't even remember who said this, but I do have it written down. And it goes like this: you could be the sweetest, most juiciest peach in the bowl, but some people just don't like peaches. So it doesn't matter. They're not necessarily thinking the worst of you. They just don't like you for some reason or another. And our mind goes through this process of going to the worst case scenario every time. And it does that for a reason, to help us protect ourselves and survive. But it goes there and you start thinking they don't like me because of this or because of that, because of my makeup, my eyes, my hair, my ears, my clothes, it goes on and on and on. But none of that is true. They just don't want to hang with you because they're different than you. And they are acknowledging their own difference, which is a great thing. So set yourself free and realize not everyone will like you. And with that comes peace and understanding of who you are. So thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope I pushed a little bit of boundaries there with what you're thinking about beliefs. We'll do another show that's totally on beliefs and get down to the nitty-gritty on that at a later episode. But thank you so much for listening today, and I hope to see you again very, very soon on Men on Fire. Take care. Bye for now.